Welcome back. Welcome to Module 3, where we're going to talk about staying safe and staying calm. Stay safe and calm with the ABCs. The ABCs are just an acronym and an easy way to remember the three things that we're going to do when we run up against a situation that doesn't feel right. We're going to assess the situation for safety. That's our number one thing. We want to be safe. We don't want to make things worse. Breathe and center yourself. Make sure that you're calm and that you can act and choose from a place of centeredness, of being true to yourself, and then choose to act or to wait. You could choose to directly act, or you could choose to act later. Waiting and then helping the victim recover from the situation is often a good option. So here's an example of our bullier. This young man is yelling at the smaller man and saying, "Hey, dweeb, where's my lunch money?" And our bystander has a thought bubble that says, A, assess if it's safe. B, breathe to calm yourself. C, choose to act or not. And in this case, she does act. She says, what you're doing is bullying. Maybe you don't realize it, but it's really hurtful. In the future, if you need money for school lunch, you can talk to the school. So now we're going to see the same situation, but a different bystander. So Todd is now standing in the place of our active bystander. Todd is about the same size as Jason, so we can assume they're about the same age. And Jason is saying, "Hey, Four Eyes, where's my lunch money?" And Todd is saying, assess for safety, breathe to calm yourself, intervene, ? Choose to act or no. And in this case, what Todd does is he befriends the victim. He says, "Hey, Billy, I saw you were playing Fortnite last night. You were really great at that game. Do you want to play while we wait for the bus?" So Todd is a peer to Jason, and instead of correcting Jason, he's trying to befriend Billy and try to remove the damage that's being done. So here's another situation where our bystander is in the car, and it looks like there's an adult driving in it, and he's saying, "Damn women drivers, they all drive terrible." And the passenger is saying, and she looks young and she's wearing a sports jersey, so we can assume maybe a daughter. Assess the situation for safety might get a little glitchy here, because the thing is, they're in a car. Is in the car really the best place to address somebody's racism, sexism, xenophobia? Probably not, because despite his, attitude being less than desirable, it is clearly he's driving. And when you're driving, you don't want to enter into an argument that you could have later. So assess for safety. We can confront him while he's angry and driving a car. We could film this and put it on social media to embarrass him. Or we can talk to him later when he's calm, maybe using a 3-part statement. Give you a minute to think about that. I think many people in this day and age would film it and put it onto social media to embarrass him. However, that doesn't do anything for your relationship, and it also calls people out, not in. So I would suggest that we talk to him later when he's calm and use a 3-part statement. When we were in the car, you said something really sexist about women drivers. It doesn't feel great because I'm going to be a woman driver. I'd appreciate it in the future if you express your anger in other ways. That might be a 3-part statement. And again, I'm assuming daughter just because she looks a little shorter and younger. But who knows? I don't know the relationship, but I'm making assumptions. Here's another example of a workplace meeting. Is it safe for Anne to correct her boss? Physically, mentally, and financially safe? So financially safe brings up the fact that, when our bosses or superiors in our work situation are being racist or being sexist, we could theoretically develop a problem, and that might cost us our job or cause mental stress. And in some case, you might be physically intimidated. What this looks like a white collar situation. So I think what I would be worried most if I was Anne would be my job. So the best scenario for a passenger was to talk to him later when he's calm. The situation at work, it might be better to wait till the end of the meeting to bring it up. But if Anne felt safe, she could bring it up. It all depends on where Anne is feeling, in her relationship to that person. In the last two scenarios, I talked about the best way to call people in, and the people who making the faux pas are in authority positions. Sometimes people can hear a correction when it is one-on-one and calmer. So, example, if Anne were to confront her boss in this situation, he is being witnessed by three other people having made a mistake. So sometimes it's important to wait till after the meeting and then address it. However, it looks like this is a discussion that might need to be addressed right away. So we want to end racism. We want to stop the spread of hate. And one of the ways that we can do that is by educating ourselves on different ways to help. And we're going to listen to a video about not being a bystander and 6 tips for responding when you see racism.
The United States has a long history of violence against people of color, disabled people, Muslims, immigrants, and LGBTQ people. In our current political moment, white supremacists and white nationalists have been emboldened. And as a result, public attacks are on the rise. Many people aren't sure what to do if they witness a racist or transphobic attack. Here are some ideas. It might be tempting to look away out of fear or because you aren't sure of what to do. But not getting involved communicates approval and leaves the victim high and dry. If you can, talk with the victim. This is about supporting them. Look them in the eye, check in with them. Try not to escalate or provoke the perpetrator. Simply sitting or standing next to someone is better than nothing at all. It's difficult to witness any kind of violence, so try to breathe and stay present. Many assume others will document an incident going on. If it's safe to do so and the victim doesn't object, film or record an incident. This helps to keep track of the rise of incidents like this, and it also ensures that the victim's versions of events can be confirmed. Check in with the victim. Ask them what they need. Get their consent and offer concrete ways to support them. Get them water. Help them get composed. Help them call a friend or even get to a safer place. Armed police presence often escalates rather than reduces the risk of violence in a situation. Because police have been trained to see people of color, gender nonconforming folks, and Muslims as criminals, they often treat victims as perpetrators of violence. So if the victim hasn't asked you to call the police, do not, I repeat, do not call the police. The culture of white supremacy and anti-Blackness is perpetuated by our media, political systems, and social media. You can contribute to making these attitudes unacceptable by challenging white supremacy even when you're not in a crisis. If you're white yourself, talk to your white family and friends about anti-Blackness and white supremacy. Do it every day, especially when you're in an all-white space. By doing this, you confront the culture without putting anyone else in danger of an immediate backlash. Now is the time for all of us who believe in justice to come together. It doesn't have to look one way. You can canvass, you can phone bank, you can write letters, or you can even create art for the movement. Taking it to the streets is always nice. But if you don't have time for that, you could always support the marginalized populations who are on the front lines of this work financially. White supremacy and anti-Blackness affects all of us, and fighting against it affirms all of our humanity. Now we got a revolution.
Thank you for hanging in there through that video. And the activities for Module 3 is you are going to create a skit in a group or by yourself where you describe a situation created from your lived experience or one you've heard about and how you can skillfully respond. And there's a link to the rubric and the assignments. And then how to respond. There's going to be 6 scenarios, and you can respond. You can pick those 3 out of 6 and then discuss how you would respond in those 3 situations. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me.